Afternoon, everybody. Just sitting at the start gate. We're doing a Recon ride for Zwift Racing League Stage 1, which is a team time trial around a new course, which is called the Southern Coast Cruise. We've got about 26.3 kilometres in length and about 147 metres of elevation throughout the ride. So just jumped in to do a bit of a look at the course. I think they're racing on Tuesday night, so I'm de-essing for my team, so helps if I've got a little bit of an idea about what we're doing for the ride. So hopefully we can get some idea of what it's like. I think I've got a few guys in the pens here today in front of me there, so we'll see how that goes. See, about 2 minutes before the start, and just turning the legs over. Looks like our pace is going to be between 2.2 and 2.7 watts per kilo. That's going to be pushing me along a little bit at the moment. I've been a bit crooked lately, so this is going to be a bit of a test. But hopefully we get enough draft in this group that makes life a little bit easier. We'll see how we go.
Right on.
So the guys do have a Discord channel there today. Sure whether to jump on there or not. We'll see how things go. So riding the Specialized Avenge, only because I need to get the Ks up to get the bike upgrade. But I have gone with the full disc setup. Try and give me a little bit of an idea of how that pans out, how that goes, and see what happens. Charlie Graves in there. I think it's Gavin at the front. 30 seconds to go. Looks like Gav's in the same uniform as me, and Charlie's in the, I think it's the American AHDR kit. I'm half tempted to see if I can find the Discord channel for this. Maybe I should have set that up before. But hopefully I'll put some comments in the thing as we're going along. So just doing the lead in at the moment. Looks like the paces are back behind us. It's okay. Let's poke along and see how we go. Nice little bit of a bunch forming up here. So I'm happy to sort of sit in here, get a little bit of a draft. See what it's like. Charlie's out in front of me. Group hosts are back behind me. A little bit of a rise just here. Only a couple of percent, but enough that we can start to feel that in the legs a little bit. 3%. So almost need to put a bit of effort in to catch up to this group in front, or drop back to the group behind. Let's see if we can just a little bit of a dig in. So it's a little bit lumpy, this course along the coast here. Not big gradients, but just enough to make it a little bit draggy through some of those shorter efforts. We'll do a few ride-on bombs here. But we're just going to tuck into this group. So we're almost at the end of the lead-in, so I think this will be the start at this gate.
Ride on.
So here becomes lap 1. So that was our lead-in, 2.6 kilometres. And now we start our course proper. Almost everybody should have ridden this coastal route by now in the various forms. People should have gone through here, should have a rough idea of where those segments are. So you just get these little lumps here, pack just slows a little bit, it'll level out. Start pick that up again. Charlie's like shot off right out the front. So not really going to be too many big climbs for the PT teams to worry about. Should be pretty straightforward. Key thing is just to not to, on those little climbs, is just to make sure that you don't split the formation. Have your strong guys at the front. You want them to be able to hold that pace. Don't pull the team apart going over that. So, another little climb around this corner. 4%. And level off. And back up again. 2%. So they're not steep. You can see by the profile on the mini map, it's a very lumpy course that we got going on here. So even now, just our little group that we had is starting to break up a bit. So groups come back together again. So just cruising around. You see you got 1, 2, 3 other segments, which are normally sprint segments along this route. Other little rise, that little dig, just enough to tax your legs a little bit. It's going to make it a little bit hard if you're on the front doing the pull and that little rise hits. It's going to take a bit of that little bit of extra energy. but not very long, and those little pinches drop off. Chance for the group to reform, come back together again. So you're -3 here. So we bridge across this little bit of a front group. Hey, there's a weekly goal. Could be a pretty fast course. Down into one of these little sprint segments. So that's one of our leaders there in the orange jersey just next to me on the left. Bit of a pinch coming up out of this sprint. A little bit of a hit at 4%. But nah, steady 3% climb. Slowly dropping back down again now. See another little pinch coming again. I think I make it a little bit hard to keep a nice rhythm. Within the pace line, you're going to get everybody back together, and you're going to get these climbs. Everybody's going to have to dig in for these climbs. Probably a minute, 2-minute efforts. Even if you're at first wheel. There's a couple of ghost riders. We get the downhill again. Going to be a chance for your pace line to regroup. If they're broken up, get them back together. get the sequence running again. And then back down again. So quite a bit up and down. Should be able to get some decent speed on these little downhill sections and the flats. Yeah, they get your pace line working pretty well. See, we're doing 40 odd k an hour at the moment, with nobody pushing too hard, so should be pretty fast if everybody's on TT bikes and working like good pace line. Should be able to hold good speed. A little bit of a pinch coming up again. Everybody's digging in on these little climbs. So coming out of the coastal route, about to head down through the desert. Oh no, we're going around to the left. Looks like we're going to go back into the coastal route. So we're just going a big loop around. There's our leader, just going through frame there. So we're going to circle back, do everything in the reverse. We're going to go past our start point, or our finish line. So it's going to be all those little downhills are going to be uphills, uphills, downhills. People seem to be pushing the pace pretty well on this Recon ride. Good little group just there. See if we can drag them back up here to these guys. Those front ones seem to be digging in a bit. I think I might just ease, sit in with these guys a bit. Those two in front might drop back to us. Another little pinch coming up here. %. They're not massive, those little climbs, but they are going to hurt. Let's get in this draft a bit. Recover. Looks like the other group's ridden off, so this will be it now. Another little pinch. Levels off again. It's going to go downhill in a sec through the sprint segment, then up again on the other side. So here's our starter for the sprint. So we know it's going to come up soon. Trending downhill here, -3. Is Hamish. Nice and quick through here, through the banner. It's going to go uphill on the other side. So here comes out a little bit of an uphill. Teams are going to have to dig a bit here. hopefully they carry some momentum through that section, carry a bit of speed to help them up over this climb. 4% there. %. Up into the 4. It should drop down again in a minute. Ease up a little bit. Let this blob come back. Gonna sit in here, sit with this group, draft them for a bit. Use this to recover. You can see in the little mini map, not too many big bumps there, quite a few little ones. A lot of these 2 and 3% humps in the road. So they're going to take a little bit of coordination amongst the team. DSs will have to keep a bit of an eye on that. Make sure that they don't get broken up in those little climbs. But they're certainly draftable. Certainly should be able to hold your team's wheel over those climbs. And be able to hold a nice pace line. So the next segment that we can see on our mini map is the start of the course, minus the lead in. So we'll go past that. Now looks like it's the next gates after that will be the finish line. Even though it's a flat course, those little humps certainly put a bit of burn in the legs. And your team is certainly going to feel every bit of that racing on this. Nice little bit of a respite here. So we're going to go over a bit of a downhill section. Then we're going to slowly bend up hill. Good chance for the team to pick up a bit of speed here through this section. Not sure whether Charlie's finished it yet or not, but he was ahead of me. Road levelling out. Getting close to that banner. A few more twists and turns and we should be on it. Around these bends, you see the start of the sprint segment here. So this was the gate that started the actual course, minus the lead in. They go up. So they're past their start point. 5Ks to go. We've got some uphill sections now. You can certainly feel those little inclines. Get this blob back together again. You see how quickly the distance pushed in there. Got to watch that in your time trial. You don't want to drop your people off the back. So you really got to pay attention to your rest of your team, where their distances are. If it starts to break up, lead guys will need to ease a bit. Not too much. Back guys will have to dig a bit, but not enough to burn matches. You don't want to blow people up. You're wanting to try and keep your team together. So a little bit at either end is what you want to do. So about 4Ks to go. We're almost there. Go past the start pens in a minute. Another little bit of a dig coming up here. So I need to have a single digits. Only maximums of about 5% gradients. Certainly enough to put a bit of sting in this route. There's Charlie Graves from AHDR. So it looks like he's been up, turn around and come back again. Now, just looking at that map, I think that's what we might be doing. We're going to go around this roundabout and head back on the way we came. And then that sprint gate that we had before will be our finish line. So around the roundabout. Thankfully we're not going right up the Clyde. Back down, and we're going to head back the way we just came. I'm going to pass a few of the riders. Here comes our paces. So head 2.5 Ks we've got back towards that finish line. Most of that's pretty flat through there, so there's a bit of a chance to get your team together as much as you can. Try and have a bit of a recovery before we hit those last little kickers on the way home. Two Ks to go. Your team should be able to dig deeper here, knowing that they're on the downhill straight for these last 2 Ks. Once you hit that roundabout, mostly the hard work's done. Just got to keep it together. Hold it together over these little bumps. $1,500 to go. Almost there. 1K left. Another little bit of an incline through here. Nothing major, but enough to put the sting in a little bit. Now we should have some pretty much downhill. Should be able to pick up a bit of speed here. Get your teams to dig in for this last little bit. Just around the corner, 400. There's a sprint thing, 300 metres. Here's our finish line. And that's it. That's your route. Okay, so cool down. That's applying. So I'm just going to do an easy finish for these last 4 minutes. So my takeaways are this: it'll be a fast course for the TTs. There's no big hills. Lots of little climbs up around that 3%. Sometimes a little bit kicking into that 4 and 5, but they're not long in duration. So you really got to look for that 2-minute, 5-minute power, I guess. You want to be able to hold your team together on those kickers. Really make sure that you don't break your team up over those climbs. If your team does fall apart, you want to get your front guys to just ease a fraction. Get your back guys, if they can, dig a bit deeper to catch up. And then try and get your team back again. Formation is fast. You got to get that pace line together and hold it together. Sit in the draft. So have a big dig at the front, rotate to the back, sit in the draft, recover for your next 2-3 minutes, depending on your time spacings, and then repeat. And those little climbs, you want to not necessarily work harder. I reckon you just want to hold that power as even as you can up those climbs. Don't break your team. Temptation will be to really push on those little rises. If you've got the muscle power, maybe. Otherwise, work as a team, hold your team together. That's going to be my advice for the TT teams. But it's a pretty flat course. What have we done? 153 metres of elevation, over 27k. That's not that much. It'll feel like it in your legs. Your legs are going to be burning, but it'll be okay. Just got to work through that. See, little climb here, 4%. Doesn't last very long. 3, 2, 1, 0. Pinches again in a minute. But again, they're not very big. So you just need to have those Short burst of power. Hold the power. Keep it up. Got about a minute and a half left of the raid. If you got any questions, stick them in the chat. I'll see if I can answer them. Minute left. So Tuesday night here in Australia is when AHDR are going to be racing. Almost there. 40 seconds left. What did our fastest person do it in? So 39 minutes, 3.1 watts a kilo. So 39, 40, 42 minutes for me. So team of 6 should be able to do that pretty quickly. All right, I'm gonna maybe roll till 30k. So there we go. So it should be a good TT, should be fast. Should be some pretty quick times through there. Be very interesting to see how everybody goes through it. If you want to watch the TT, hopefully I'm not racing, I am going to be DSing the team. So I'll see if I can live stream that somehow. See what I can do. Maybe I should be able to show you how that works from my end. See how we go. But should be a good night of racing. So that's Tuesday night here in Australia that we're going to be racing. So good time to tune in. If you've got the race a bit later on, then you'll be able to tune in, watch, see how the race pans out, what the times are like, where the hiccups are, etc. And then you'll be able to use that knowledge maybe for your own team later on in the week if you're in a different time zone. Just going to roll on to 30k, so I've got 400 meters to go, 300 meters, sorry, and then I'll call it quits. If you got any questions, pop them in the chat. Bike recommendations. I reckon TT bike as good as you can afford. Disc wheels, again, as good as you can afford. If you can't do discs, try and get the most aero setup you can. Alright, that's 30k's. Thanks for joining me in the Zwift Racing League Recon ride. Hopefully you got something out of my commentary as we're going along, and or got some idea about what the course is going to be like in the profile, etc. And best of luck for you and your team when you're racing in round 1. Thanks for watching the Pace Line with Hutto. We'll see you in the next time.